Yesterday, good one yesterday. Not as good today, but we're gonna have a good one tomorrow, as I told our guys, and get ready for. We'll go early tomorrow so we can get down there. We got a 1 o'clock game on Sunday. Get down there and get ready. So we won't practice down at their place, but we'll practice here and be ready to go. Everybody's pretty healthy. No injuries. We went hard yesterday, hard today. Short but hard. And trying to get ready. Went through scouting report on North Carolina. We know them obviously pretty well. We played them 3 times in the last 2 years. So seeing them, and these guys are players. They know all the guys. It's so different than how it used to be. There's just familiarity and understanding, and they often have played against other guys so many times. So it's where we're at. Everybody's. Was healthy. Everybody was out there, and we had a like I said, a good one yesterday. Not as good yet today, but we're gonna have a good one tomorrow.
Jamie, you guys, you've often said sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's a matter of when you catch a team, this and that. Do you feel like you're catching them at a good time? They really haven't played well in February. They just came off a win where they were kind of lackluster. They lost 2. Do you feel like this is a good time to be catching them?
Well, I mean, we got to look at ourselves first, and we're coming off of 2 losses. So I mean, I think in our minds, we matter more than the opponent as far as outcomes of games. So that's how we think, and I think most teams think that way. So I haven't given much thought to that, but. We've got to. We've obviously lost to 2 good teams in a row. It's tough. It's tough. To lose the last one was tough in the last second, and to be ahead the entire game was troubling. But you have to respond. You have to get back, and you have to play well and get better because of it. So, I think I've looked more at us than them, to be honest, and we need to be a better team after these two losses.
Losses and even their last game against Boston College. Does anything stand out to you?
I mean, it's no one's going undefeated in our league. I mean, they lost a couple road games, and then they won at Boston College. So I mean, if you probably planned it out and looked at it, it's probably what they would have done if you threw it through the computers and spit all out all the information. It's generally those home teams are the favorites, and they won a road game at Boston College. So, they just had a stretch of 3 road games in a row, if I have it correct. So, they're playing about like everybody else. And when you play on the road, they're tough games. There's no easy ones on the road.
It's getting to be the time of year where people talk about tournament resumes and things like that. What, in your experience, is the difference between, a team that's a 5 or 6 seed versus a team that's a 9 or a 10 seed?
1 win usually. I mean, there's not much separation in those teams. I mean, it's just usually what it is. They generally do it just by the RPI. They say they don't, but if you look at it, it's pretty close to that on the seeds and how it plays out. So, it's generally like that. There's always some exceptions, but that's as close as it gets. Other than it's closer than people giving their own opinion. It seems to go by the numbers rather than one's opinion, or eye test, as we like to say.
So given that, you talk about every game being important, and you have, does playing, a very marquee opponent that's going to be in front of a lot of eyeballs on Sunday afternoon maybe mean more than an average game in the minds of some people?
I don't think so. I mean, they put on they put on best win, worst loss, and so every game factors in when they talk about that. I mean, the worst loss is on the same thing as the best win. So you got to play. You got to win every game. You got to play every game to win. And I mean, it's obviously we get asked that question when we're playing a ranked team, and got asked. We got to win. We got to win our share of games, and you can't win them all, as everybody has proven, and there's going to be more than a handful of losses for every team this year, as we can see. So you're going out and playing the best you can, and some games you don't play well, and some games you do play well, and you come up short. And in our league, you're going to play well and we're not come up with a win. I thought we played well the other day. We didn't come up with a win on the road. Didn't do what we needed to do down the stretch, but we're gonna come out and battle and play. And like I said, we got to get better because of those last 2 games, and we got to play good. We got to get really 40 minutes, 40 great minutes.
Jamie, you could make a strong case that since you've joined the ACC, 2 of the absolute best games you've played have been against North Carolina. Is it a matchup thing? Is it you guys just get up to play against them? And why do you feel like, last year, that's one of the best games you probably have played in this building, when you blew them out of the gym. And then 2 years ago down in Greensboro, you pretty much blew them out. I know they came back a little bit, but what's been sort of a matchup thing that's favorable for you guys?
Well, first off, it's 2 different teams completely, so I don't think one affects the other. But I think we had good teams playing well at the right time. We made shots in the last game, last year's game. Maybe that was it. And the other team was a very good team that I thought was as good as anybody in the conference, really. 2 years ago, yeah. We lost in the semis on a last second, and so I think those were the factors. But they're good, and I don't think last year or 2 years ago affects anything of what they're doing. But we got to go out and play. We're going to go on the road, and we've played down there once before. We lost a close game down there, which I thought I remember we were down, came back, and loved how we fought, and last second came down the last seconds as well. So it's a different time, different play, different players, but. We got to go out and play. We're not worried too much about that. We're trying to. Tomorrow's a big day for us. To me, in my mind, that's what I'm looking at. We got to have a great practice day. We got to have a great practice.
Are they a team that you're able to be a little bit more physical against?
Oh, I don't. You never know. How it's gonna play out. When you say more physical, the rules have all changed this year than last year, and how they call the game early is gonna have a big factor on things too. I think we all know sometimes there's fouls. Some might be called one game early, and not called another game early. So, we can't get hurt on the glass. We know that. We can't get hurt on transition. We know that. And we got to get some transition baskets against them. We do. We got to get transition baskets. So there's a lot of things coming into play, but we got to go out and play well. And we got to defend. We got to get better defensively.
That 3-2 zone you used the other day, is that something that'll be a part of your defensive arsenal going forward? Or is it just a matchup thing?
Could be. I think if it fit the team that we're playing, I thought it was the right defense for them. But there's weaknesses in every defense: man, zone, 2-3, 3-2, whatever it may be. But it's as I said, more teams are going to play more zone. I thought we would have played more zone. Our zone hasn't been that good, so we really looked to we've worked on it for a couple of weeks as far as the 3-2 and trying to get better than that, and maybe we're better equipped in that. But we used it for one game. We used it for one half. It was effective. Not as effective in the second half. So.
Is a team that's not all that good at defense, can they be better just by changing defenses?
It's for periods of time. We can be good in defense and man. Just we can get to that point. We haven't given up. We're trying to get better as everybody is, and we think we believe every day that we're going to get better in that area, in all areas.
After you rewatched the Miami game,
Yep.
did you see anything in that last sequence on the game-winning bucket that changed your belief that you had said post-game immediately afterwards? Was there anything that you were somewhat critical of the fact that a 5'11" guy was able to get in there and put the fall the basket. Anything on the tape that maybe wasn't that bad?
No, last possession we didn't. Obviously our guy tipped it to him. So some things. It's right place, right time. But it was. That's what happened. I'm not being critical, just repeating what happened. But no, I don't quite. We knew it happened when it happened, and really we didn't guard the play to begin with the right way. The shot that they got was where the issue started.
Jamie, it's a good place to sort of segue. One of the things that you've done these last 2 games is you've kept them off the offensive glass. They're a pretty good offensive rebounding team.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you've emphasized here these last few days?
Yeah. Transition and transition baskets and offensive rebounds. Can't give them those, and they're going to get some, but we have to limit them, and that's what they do well. I mean, and we have been not satisfied with where we are in both of those areas, but specifically the offensive rebound, too many second shots. And our rebound numbers are not horrible, but we need to get better. And it's and again, we have a high standard. That's always been something we do well, and we haven't done it up to par.
Is this a point in the season where there becomes a balance, if you will, where there is still a lot of basketball left to play, but there's also some urgency at the same time?
Yeah, I don't think for players and coaches a new sense of urgency or I just think you can't. We've talked about the big game or the bigger game. I just think I was Super Bowl's over and more people are following in college basketball and I just think it's more of that and gets talked about the dance and the bracketology, all that stuff comes up. So it's. Maybe it's manufactured, it's talked about, it's discussed, but I think certainly as far as a team and becoming the best team you can be and putting together the best resume and having the best year, I mean, you have to think that way from November to February and then March. So I don't see that. I mean, I know it gets talked about and there'll be more, but you can't mess up a game in December or November, just as much as February. So you've got to be striving every day. Every day there's got to be a sense of urgency. I mean, we use the term sense of urgency today, and we used it in November. I mean, with our guys, and usually it's on the defensive end when we use that phrase. But yeah, we've got to always prepare that way and always strive to be better. I mentioned that earlier. We got every day we've got to strive to be better, and we're doing that. And I feel like every day I go on thinking that we're gonna improve in the areas we're still in a position. I mean, I know it's 2 losses in a row, but the reality is there are 2 ranked teams and highly ranked teams, and we've got to get better for those losses.
James was a freshman and he had Trey Woodall
Mhm.
helping him along, and I know you've had a lot of great point guards come through here, but with the relationship between James and Damon now, do you see, I don't know if Damon's going to be a 4-year starter like James, but have you seen anything stand out between the relationship of those two?
Yeah, it's I think it's been good. I think there's Damon respects James and I think Damon's done a good job. I think he's really improved. The guys I'm excited about. I mean, Damon's improved and Ryan's improved and Cameron's improved. So that I think is going to make talking about our defense and we haven't decided we haven't finalized our defensive team yet. We're going to get better because those guys are going to get better. They're going to make the other guys better, and that's my belief. So Damon is a big part of what I think is going to become a very good defensive team. I still believe it, and I know it's February, but we have to think that way. You can't think the other way. That's for other people to do. Damon's a big part of us becoming a better team, and I think he has made us better.
Got your future opponents
Mhm.
today. Any thoughts about the group and it looks like a pretty difficult road for you.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. I mean it's never going to, you say, balance us out, but not quite, because who are rivals, mirror teams, whatever you want to call it, home and homes, are Syracuse and Louisville. So that obviously brings a upper half of the league. And so it's what it is. The ACC is what we signed up for, and we know in the future, and those teams will be rotating. But in the future we've got obviously historically strong programs going there, and sometimes you catch teams on the years that they're strong. I mean, Virginia was a couple of years ago was not Virginia, what they are now. So, and teams go up and down, so consistency is something that's been a trademark of ours. We've taken a step. We're not as good in right now, but we're going to get there. I still believe we're going to get to where we need to be. And, that's what I said to our guys yesterday, we're going to get there. And we're going to get there with this group, these players, and we're going to improve.
As James finishes his college career, what would you hope that he sort of passes down to Damon especially?
Yeah, I think unselfishness. I mean, it's professionalism and integrity on and off the floor. I think all those things. And Damon's been terrific. I mean, Damon's really a mature kid did really well in the classroom and nearly a 4.0. I mean, he's done really well, and so I'm excited about him. Really am. And obviously, you can see that by he's playing more and more minutes. As the seasons progress. So we're excited about him and what he's doing.
Is that the downside though, Jamie, of having so many teams in a conference that's unbalanced? I mean, if you look next year, you got 8 games against Syracuse, Louisville, North Carolina, and Virginia.
Right.
I mean, it's almost half of your games are against
Right.
4 teams that traditionally in the last few years are probably going to be, at least like contenders for like Sweet 16 type
Yeah.
teams.
It is what it is. I mean, it's what it is. I mean, we kind of knew that when we were going to get Syracuse, Louisville as our partners. I think not too many people talk about it, but obviously that has an impact on what your schedule. Somehow that doesn't when people go through the. Yeah, we obviously recognize it and know what it's going to be in the future and where it lies. So it impacts it, but it is what it is. And like I said, Syracuse and Louisville, those are rivals, and we believe that it's good for us.
Flip side is you get those 4 teams. You get those 4 teams here next year, and also you get Duke and Miami and the other 2 here next year. So I guess the flip side is that you're going to get a lot of good games here.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, there's. It is what we expected, to be honest. I mean, it's at some point it was going to happen, and it already was happening with Syracuse and Louisville being there every year.
In a perfect world, would you prefer to play every conference opponent twice?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, that's not happening. So that's. I think everybody would. I mean, nobody likes unbalanced schedule. I mean, there's no. I don't think anybody. I think that's that's kind of why leagues when you talk about leagues and where guys finish. I mean, it's lost kind of for obvious reasons. I mean, people are playing different schedules. So how do you compare the two the records? So I mean, for obvious reasons.